man. It's casual Tuesdays. Forgive me for my attire. You know what I'm saying? Um, got some great content to cover. June 10th. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be talking about the threats to President Trump's golden age. Okay, guys. If you guys know my story, you guys know that at a particular time, a certain particular time, you know what I'm saying? Like I received a large sum of money, you know what I'm saying, from the US Treasury. And I had made a promise because I was looking forward to that. I had made a promise if I had seen myself or if I received that large sum of money, you know what I'm saying, I'd buy a MAGA hat. So I decided instead of buying a MAGA hat, you know what I'm saying, I would show support to President Trump. And I've done that, I believe, over the last, I don't know how much time, but, I would say at least the last couple months. Now, that being said, you know what I'm saying, like in the current situation that we have, where President Trump, I would say, is making moves that I don't know if it would be controversial, but making moves that I would say that I wouldn't make or that I don't understand or that cause what, what I'm saying, we perceive as chaos. Like right now, I'm looking and it says Trump sends 700 Marines, man. You know that's going to get challenged in court. California's already talking about challenging President Trump in court, you know what I'm saying, over some things like this. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. That's why I'm saying I promoted a golden age for President Trump. And, you know what I'm saying, we see that there are a lot of things that are what's the best way to say this? There's a lot of things that are standing in the way of a golden age. If he has to go to war with Iran, I'm not talking about the politics, but if he has to, you know what I'm saying, that would definitely sink the markets. It might send America into a recession. The images you see on this thumbnail, the riots in Los Angeles, I don't see how the markets could skyrocket off that. You know what I'm saying? If it's no chaos and it's more peace, and we talking about investments and a great big beautiful bill and a deal with China, and you know what I'm saying, a deal with India and a deal with Pakistan. When I did the Golden Age videos, we see what happened. But that's all I'm talking about today, the many threats to President Trump's golden age. So, guys, News Hour with Ghostwriter is back on Tuesdays, Casual Tuesdays. I'm sorry for the casual attire, man, but I'm just chilling, man. We're going to start with the news, LA Times. You know what I'm saying? The story was updated on June the 8th. Like I said, you guys watching this after it was pre-recorded, President Trump is talking about sending Marines. Fox News is reporting that. You know what I'm saying? But President Trump, he ran on that. How many of y'all throw it in the comments, how many of y'all remember President Trump saying he gonna use the military to counteract this? But what I want to say before we get into the content, man, because I do got some news for you prepared. Like President Trump knew this was coming. What's up, Omar? How y'all doing, man? Make sure y'all like the video for me. Double tap the screen. President Trump knew this was coming. He did. But President Trump is talking about withholding a lot of money from California. That's going on beneath the surface. So the people of California, it's like he's waging war on California. Y'all, let's get into the content. So, guys, for the news story, this is the LA Times, June the 8th. This is James Quilley, Nathan Solis, some other people. You can research it yourself if you're interested. It was updated at 4:16 p.m. I chose the LA Times to bring you the news because it's their community. It's Los Angeles. So I somewhat trust them more to bring more accurate information in their community. whether they're slanted one way or not. Okay, so let's get to it. California National Guard troops arrived in Los Angeles on Sunday in a show of force following scattered clashes between immigration agents and protesters, and amid a widening political divide between California and the Trump administration. I kind of touched on that a little bit, y'all, in the intro. The move by President Trump to active nearly 2,000 guardsmen marked the first time since 1965 that a president has deployed a state's National Guard without a request from that state's governor. So you see in the LA Times, they clear. This is wrote, and I had retrieved this information before Governor Newsom sued President Trump for that move. Okay? So in the LA Times, they clear in writing this story that they do not agree with President Trump not getting approval from Governor Newsom to activate troops in a situation that they saying they had under control. What y'all think? Get down in the comments, y'all. Start the conversation going. The decision was met by stern rebukes from state and local officials, including Governor Gavin Newsom, who said the deployment was not to meet an unmet need, but to manufacture a crisis. Now, guys, Governor Newsom is saying that President Trump is trying to manufacture a crisis. What do you guys think? Y'all come on, man. Let me know. Omar, what you think? Newsom's office on Sunday afternoon sent a formal letter to the Trump administration asking them to rescind their deployment of troops. So Governor Newsom asked President Trump to pull the troops back. Why? There is currently no need for the National Guard to be deployed in Los Angeles, and to do so in this unlawful manner and for such a lengthy period, a serious breach of state sovereignty that seems intentionally designed to inflame the situation while simultaneously depriving the state from deploying their personnel and resources where that were truly required. The letter reads, guys, you got to understand that in this situation, ICE agents are operating without really support from California, from the state, the city, the local government. Y'all know about sanctuary cities, right? So they at war, man. Here it goes. My argument is this, okay? I'm not hating on you, President Trump. I did not support you. I am fond of Governor Newsom. You see what I'm saying? But this is what I'm saying. My whole thing, this whole stream, News Hour with Ghostwriter today, is about that golden age that we were talking about. That golden age that I was jumping up and screaming about. Yeah, it's the golden age, baby. Y'all invest in the stock market. Who investing in the stock market when you seeing cars burning in Los Angeles with Mexican right, wrong, or indifference, whether you right or you left, whether you MSNBC or you CNN or you Fox News? What I'm saying is I'm going to have to rescind the golden age if we doing this. It's just June, and it's just California. What happened when this break out in Portland? Because it's coming in July if things don't change. What happened when it break out in Massachusetts and Boston? And then you talking about bombing Iran? Man, that's chaos. I mean, listen, there's going to be problems that arrive in any presidency. Feel me on that. But I'm saying, how can you have a golden age with this going on? Governor Newsom, guys, it's not in the LA Times story, but he's suing President Trump over this. Now, I'm not no constitutional legal like on CNN, but I could just put two and two together. First off, you in federal court in Los Angeles, California. Number one. You in federal court in Los Angeles, California, and you're not going up against Ghostwriter. You're going up against a Newsom How many people been in here from California? Y'all raise your hand for me. Y'all know about the Newsoms and Pelosi's in California? You think Nancy Pelosi is the only Pelosi of value in California? That name like the Kennedys in California, boy. And Newsom too. You know how they be in them courts and stuff behind the scenes, underneath the grounds in them smoke-filled rooms. So you in a LA court, California, federal court against Gavin Newsom. And he's saying you overrode his authority. So you fight. You mobilizing lawyers and you spending money. And I'm not so sure that President Trump, they not the home team, they the away team. In California, like I said, the fourth economy in the world, they are well equipped for this fight. On Sunday afternoon, there were tense moments outside a federal detention center in downtown LA, where officers firing tear gas and less lethal rounds at protesters. After 4 p.m., a swarm of protesters streamed onto a south side of the 101 freeway, blocking traffic. The protesters were in a standoff with dozens of officers lined up under the Los Angeles Street Bridge. Come on, guys. But other areas that has seen unrest over the last few days, including the Garment District, Paramount, and Compton, seemed calm. What? It was Compton, calm? It was unclear exactly how many troops were deployed in Los Angeles as of Sunday afternoon. The National Guard's 79th Infantry Brigade Combat Team, based in San Diego, had Sunday that 300 personnel were on the ground to protect federal property and personnel. Guys, quick analysis, okay? We're going to get back to the news in a second. This is my thoughts. I want to stop right there and just think about what we're talking about right now. If we look at the May jobs report, President Trump added over 130 jobs. Y'all, can we give a round of applause for President Trump? I'm saying they could say it was Joe Biden's economy, but I'm saying like we into May, June, and we pushing July. That's half the year. And he's still adding 139,000 jobs after all those firings. Is he going to Saudi? He getting them investments. Them investments, them jobs, they're going to keep kicking in. The unemployment rate is holding steady at 4.2%. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, that's straight facts, brother. Y'all, make sure y'all like the video for me, if you don't mind. Y'all, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Make sure you hit that notification bell, guys. Y'all jump down in the comments for me. Y'all get the conversation started. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, or Independent, that's a good economy. And once again, he can create a golden age. Omar, y'all rock with me. Once again, President Trump can create a golden age. Legendary, that close, did something that has never been done in 150 years. Fight, all the right qualities to be the greatest of modern time. Just like he did the first term. President Obama saying that's his economy. What's up, President? President maybe 2017, that was your economy. 2018, half of it. But President Trump's they were kind of legislating a little bit first term. President Trump in 2018, I'm gonna give him credit for that economy moving forward. Because President Obama, you wouldn't take credit for the coronavirus. You feel what I'm saying? So 2018, 2019, President Trump looked, and then what happened? Chaos. Not just the COVID, but the summer of love. So President Trump said he ready for it. Now he got troops. And he said, I ran on that now, Ghost. So chill out. Don't get on me too hard. President Trump, I feel. But this is what I'm saying. And my analysis it is, just as in the first term was derailed by a deadly virus and chaos, We facing that again, guys. We should be talking about the golden age and the economy and business deals with China and India and investments, Saudi Arabia trips. But instead, due to a controversial immigration policies by President Trump. Now, I seen a story on CNN. The little Harry Etienne or whoever, the little data guy, he was fair. He said the public in general support immigration. How y'all feel about immigration and going after illegal criminals? And we know Los Angeles is a sanctuary city. See, that's Ghost is an independent, not playing no politics, not playing both sides, but just looking at the picture. So I know a lot of this political, but what's the truth? What's really going on out there? Look like a civil war. President Trump, he my guy. How you think the stock market gonna do with them images on TV though? We talking about a golden age. I mean, the Senate working on this bill that can affect real Americans, that could really affect Americans' lives. Well, we see cars on fire with Mexican flags waving. And President Trump sending troops, American troops, on the streets of Los Angeles, holding their money. So Governor Newsom taking them to court. What's the success record of President Trump in court? President T, you my guy. You heard me say it. I'm a realist. I got to be real. Because I'm talking the strategy. Who is making the strategy for the Trump administration? What's the success record in court? Because I say it, like I say, I have to do this. Because all of America who is tuned into politics is tuned into this. A.G. Bondi, baby, you a gorgeous woman. I respect you. I got mad love for you. A.G. Bondi, I ain't never had a bad thought about you in my life. I can't say that about President T, to be real. But what I'm saying, A.G. Bondi, is like, we never should project authority that could be defeated if you in that position. Feel what I'm saying? It's like A.G. Bondi, you telling one of your DAs, the assistants, to do A, B, and C, and they go against you. So what happens, A.G. Bondi? You fired them. Like your authority in that position is complete. But when we come out and we say that an immigrant has been deported to Venezuela and he is not going to be able to be brought back, and when he comes back, I'm not hating on you, but what I'm saying is your opponents see that and that emboldens them. Y'all tell me if y'all know what I'm talking about. Tell me if I'm cooking. Tell me if I'm preaching. Y'all drop it in the comments right now. If I don't even engage in that battle, because if you listen to Ghosts and the streams, the past live streams, and that situation, I addressed that directly. Before the Maryland senator got in the situation or anyone else got in that situation, I addressed it. And I said, behind the scenes, President T, I'll throw some money or do what I have to do and get that young man. I said, he don't even have to be brought back to America. You could bring him back to Mexico. How many of y'all remember me saying that? But to bring the Venezuelan president to America and he don't be brought back, I'm not antagonizing you. I'm trying to teach. And the lesson is when your opponents, like Governor Newsom and that Illinois governor who's quiet, and Governor Shapiro, Pennsylvania, then sued the American government for about $2 billion. And New York governor, she quiet right now. But when you come, she gonna kick back. I'm saying your opponents, they watching. You arresting judges, they want to see the outcome of the case. I'm a paralegal. I'm working on a case right now. You could go and do something like murder somebody, and you could take their life in less than 5 seconds with a firearm. Just like that CEO, United Healthcare, got murdered in New York City. That man was gone in 5 seconds. And Luigi got some clout. You ain't gonna get no clout like that if you do. Not no clout like he got. That he got thousands, hundreds of thousands. He got clout, momentary clout. But what's the price? He paid his life. I'm saying, why get momentary clout like saying you're going to put the man in jail, and what's the price you got to pay? He going to sue you. The case might take a year, but I'm talking about in the end, Garcia is sitting back in America. And I mean, you went and got the Venezuelan president and you brought him here. And y'all laughing and he-heeing and giggling, and then the dude come back after you said he not coming back. Even they president, and he back. You know why? Because you playing with that judge. You think that little bitty judge, you disrespecting that dude, that little bitty judge, you disrespecting him. You say, Ghost, you went against a federal judge. You made a video about it. Arguing against a federal judge. You said you told the judge he was gone. Yeah, but I'm arguing the man on points of law. I'm not saying he an idiot. I'm not questioning his authority. I'm not asking for the man to get impeached. I'm praying to 5 judges in New Orleans saying that this judge said the service is, but this book says service is. So, sir, I'm slow and I don't understand. Y'all, please forgive me. Give me another chance. That's how Ghostwriter won. I'm not saying impeach the dude. And they don't understand the law. You talking to that dude in that black robe in that one courtroom, you don't understand. The law says he got powers as unto a king. He could take President Trump's order and tear it up. And when you get the Chief Justice, the supreme leader of the law of America, point you out directly saying to chill, you know Garcia coming back. You know you're not being Governor Newsom in California. You know you're not winning in Boston. You're not being Harvard, man. Come on. I'm saying those are political fights that are costing us conversations about a $1.5 trillion deal with India that I said we've been need to be talking about for a long time. I'm saying if you a money president, what we fighting with Governor Newsom for about? Because they gonna stand 10. That they on a kamikaze mission. Y'all, if y'all feel me, they on a kamikaze mission against President Trump, President T, and AG Bondi, and all y'all. I'm not saying none of y'all ain't right. That's what I'm saying. I'm not arguing the right or wrong. I'm not arguing the morality. You say, Ghost, talk about the morality of the situation. You a Christian. Not even be okay. It's kind of all right, y'all. Let's take a break on the news. We're not doing the weave. We at the end of that, okay? The golden age. We on the next page, okay? So I want to talk about something though. Let's talk about immigration. From the Democrat side, they talking about like from the Christian. And Haiti, bro, they're in a crisis, bro. They're like starvation. So the Democrats saying, like, as a Christian, we want to help our neighbors. It's in the Bible. Haiti is our neighbors. But from the Republican side, if they're here illegally, we got to obey the law. I'm saying, which side do you choose, guys? You say, Ghost, which side you choose? I'm kind of in the middle. That's the lukewarm is the place to be in politics. For real. Because if you go too far right, you're going to fall off the cliff. You go too far left, you're going to fall off the cliff. See, with God, lukewarm ain't the place to be. You need to be on fire. But this ain't Christianity. This is politics. And politics in the middle is the place to be. That's the best place to rule. You got to be the president, not just for the Republicans. You got to be the president, not just for MAGA. That's not how you be great. President Reagan went against the grain and reached down and helped the African American communities. The greatest redistribution of wealth in modern history. We ain't talking about Social Security and all those entitlement programs. We talking about the tax credit, Ronald Reagan. That's what I'm saying, President T. Like, I know you beefing with that other side, but you got to think about it. How many people y'all voted for VP Harris? How many millions? How many millions of people in California? You mobilizing all of them against you. I'm saying, President Trump, do you realize you the president of California too? Not just the Republican in California, but all those Democrats, you they president too. So you got to act like it sometimes. And I know President Trump is hard because you know some stuff that we don't need to say in public or what they did to you behind the scenes that you can't forgive them for. And they'll do it to you again if you're not hard on them. But President T, I'm just saying, like, you, the president of America, you got to think about the American people too, President T, and your actions. You guys, please like, comment, subscribe, jump down in the comments. I see y'all got that chat going a little bit this morning. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. If you guys would like to donate to the channel, I would really appreciate that, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We need us a super chat today. At least one super chat, guys. I would appreciate it so much. If you want to donate to the channel, that button below with the $ in it, just hit that button and your donations are much appreciated. Back to the news. LA Times, y'all, if y'all want to hear from the beginning. We talking about the threats to President Trump's golden age. I promoted President Trump's golden age. I told people to invest in the stock market. It ain't about my name. It's about people's monies and their livelihoods. You feel me? The Trump administration officials have seized on the isolated incidents of violence to suggest why parts of LA are out of control. President Trump, is that the truth, or LA Times, are they kicking game on you? On Sunday, they said Trump. I'm saying President Trump. I ain't going to disrespect our president like that. Took to social media to claim violent insurrectionist mobs are swarming and attacking federal law enforcement. Now you say, Ghost, if you read that story, violent insurrectionist mobs, that might be kind of true. I don't know about insurrectionists. They just like regular, Antifa type, like organizing liberals, never Trumper type people. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about in Portland, they got transgenders with multicolored hairs, bro. This dude burning Teslas with AK-47s. But he said they were swarming and attacking federal law enforcement. Maybe they were. Maybe they were throwing like tear gas at federal law enforcement. How many, Omar, y'all in the story? What were they attacking federal law enforcement? I don't know. I can't say. That's what President Trump said. I mean, I seen videos and it looked like they at some points they were kind of getting at the police a little bit. But like swarming and attacking, what he said, I don't know. I know Tom Homan, he has a long arm of experience in law enforcement. He might not know about civil law, but as far as law enforcement, you're talking about immigration, so I know that's Tom Homan. You talking about Christy? No, that's my baby. No, I'm just playing. She got a husband, but you talking about her. No, let me stop. You talking about Christy? No, she was the governor of a whole entire state. So her running Homeland Security. So I'm saying, them saying this now, the Democrats might get mad at me on that. I don't know. What y'all say? Violent insurrectionist mobs. I heard some reporters, I ain't gonna say no networks, they had a problem with that. Governor Newsom had a problem with that. Mayor Bass have a problem with that statement, President Trump. She said that is not true. I don't know. I'm not there. I wasn't on the ground. Maybe some of y'all know. Y'all let me know. A once great American city, Los Angeles, has been invaded and occupied by illegal aliens and criminals. Invaded and occupied. Invaded. Somebody look up invasion for me real quick and paste it down below in the chat. Invaded. I don't know about no invaded, President Trump. And occupied, that you talking about like Russia went into Crimea and invaded and is occupying Crimea. Yeah, maybe. But the immigrants have not invaded Los Angeles. The LAPD is still in control of the city of Los Angeles. Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department Mayor Bass said there's over 80 cities in the county of Los Angeles. She said they Gucci. I don't know though, y'all. But that's how he feel. He said the once great American city, Los Angeles. Once great. He ain't a fan of Los Angeles. Blaming Democratic politicians for not cracking down early. President Trump, in his mind, you know I'm a litigator. I got to argue both sides. And President T, he my dude. So President Trump, in his mind, he probably thinking that it's lawless. He probably think before these even protests even happen, President Trump, in his mind, is probably thinking LA is lawless. And how many of us heard him say about using the U.S. military? Well, like I said, Fox News is reporting them 700 Marines. That's going to get challenged and sued. I'm not talking about the politics of it. But I'm just saying President Trump probably came in a situation, Omar, with something in his mind thinking that, hey, LA is out of control. And he said, well, he ran on it, that he for using the military in these situations. Because see, President Trump understands that July could be bad. Kids out of school. I talked about civil unrest in July being, I could see a summer of love kicking up in July because the chaotic rhetoric that be being used. I mean, you talking about stopping these states' money because you disagree with them politically. Now, President Trump, I'm not judging you for that, but they mad. I'm talking about before any of this happened, before any California riots. Think about the wildfires. That was just not too long ago. You went and met Governor Newsom face to face. He was chewing you out then. And so what I'm saying is now what we talking about now is we talking about before the riot, still you withholding money from California. You know them people, bro, they 38 hot at you, bro. President Trump, do not go to California no time soon. Please don't. It is very highly unsafe for you out there, man. And to advise him to attack them that over politics, disagreement with politics. President Trump, I see your heart, but you can't fix America like that. It's what it is. How many years have this republic been here, y'all? 400 years? You cannot change 400 years in 4 years. That's common logic. Whoever making your strategy, they have to have wisdom and discernment to where they give you a decision. It can't be no momentary decision. We gonna go after Harvard law. Y'all know all them law books. Harvard, they are the law. Your attorneys aren't equipped. They got enough money, and you done enough damage to where they finna sue you, and it's gonna be just like Garcia. Harvard gonna be getting all their money back. California got all their money back. Garcia's sitting right back in America. It's like, why do it? It's like clout almost. Now the riots is different. President Trump said he doing what he got elected for. He enforcing immigration. And they just mad because it's a sanctuary city and I got to stand up. But I'm saying our officials have not said how long the immigration enforcement actions will continue. Can we rely on the golden age while President Trump told reporters Sunday we're going to have troops everywhere? We're not going to let this happen in our country. Can we rely on the golden age with American troops in Los Angeles? You know how big the LAPD is? Somebody Google that real quick and put how many thousands of officers in the LAPD. And when you do that, Google and put how many thousands of officers in the LA County Sheriff's Department. It's an army. And they are trained for this. Now, if I was advising President Trump in this situation, President Trump, you know how I would have done it? I would have attacked Governor Newsom from the courts. You say, Ghost, what you talking about? President Trump, I would have challenged him and I would have filed on him a emergency injunction for him not enforce. Look, President Trump, this is what I'm saying. Y'all feel me, rock with me. Rock with me for a second. I'm cooking. Governor Newsom suing President Trump because he said he went over my authority and he put these troops in here and he shouldn't have did that. He's saying he violated the law. Well, if I was on President Trump's side, when they're at the point of deciding whether to send troops in or not, what I would do is the lawyers who researching the law and the paralegals not going to sleep researching the law, getting the code and the interpretation of the law to predict how the judge is going to rule on this move. If President Trump is solid, he right on the law, I would have challenged Governor Newsom in court for not mobilizing the troops, because that means if President Trump is right by mobilizing the troops, then Governor Newsom is wrong by not mobilizing the troops. I'm not going to have you suing me. I'm going after you. I'm going to do it legally. If I was that upset about what would President Obama do if he was in the White House and this situation happened, y'all? Somebody put it in the chat. What would a President Biden have done? What would President Clinton have done? What would President Bush have done? Y'all, you know I got to. You feel me? His daddy, 25th year anniversary, Americans with Disabilities Act. George Bush Sr. signed it into legislation. You know I love them Bushes. I'm a Texas boy. What would they have done in this situation? Now, President Trump, I understand you got personal skin in the game because of what happened to you in the past that you can't speak on publicly, that you feel some stuff come from California that could have. But I'm talking about the golden age. And Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass saying the deployment of federalized troops, a chaotic escalation. She's saying he making it worse. I don't know. I'm not there. I know that's her city. She from Los Angeles. Everything President Trump, listen, this is logic, okay? For us, observing the situation, Omar trying to figure out which one is right or wrong. We know she on the ground in her city. So she getting a lot of advice and she getting stuff from the police department and stuff from the district attorney and stuff from the health department and stuff from federal officials and stuff from state officials. But I'm saying she lived in her city. So she's been there for a while. She has observed her city. That's why I listen to locals, because it's their city. The federal government do this too when they dealing with situations. That's her city. She knows her city. Everything President Trump is getting from Los Angeles, he's getting it somebody. How many hours President Trump spent in Los Angeles in the last 10 years? Y'all feel that? No, I'm not hating. I don't know. I'm just saying that's just the perspective. She's saying it's a chaotic escalation. Issued a reminder that Los Angeles will always stand with everyone who calls our city home. I'm gonna say that again. That's encoded. These politicians will get on TV and say stuff to get the city. She got secret armies in her city. I'm just playing, y'all. I'm just playing. Los Angeles will always stand with everyone who calls our city home. She letting you know, President Trump, this is my home. This like me coming down to Mar-a-Lago and me saying whatever you saying about Los Angeles, that's like Mayor Bass saying that about Mar-a-Lago. That's why you got to understand the power of words and speak with compassion. There's times I speak like I cut, but it's on purpose. I'm a litigator. To get paid, I got to cut you into pieces and eat you. I eat attorneys. Y'all make sure y'all like the video. If y'all hadn't subscribed, hit that notification bell. I need a super chat, man. Angelo, I need a super chat. Somebody, man. Come on, man. Y'all used to support me so much, man. I need one super chat, man. Come on, man, for the stream. Y'all hit that button below with the $. Your love would be much appreciated. You feel what I'm saying? The mayor said while most demonstrators have gathered peacefully, some have hurled objects at law enforcement personnel. So she admitted what President Trump said earlier. So people were throwing stuff at law enforcement in Los Angeles. She said they set garbage and vehicles on fire and defaced what? Federal property. I rest my case. If I had to, I don't know, President Trump probably gonna win that. Them National Guard troops, he gonna win that. Spoke too soon. President T, that one right there with them National Guard troops, they did what? This is what the mayor said. They did what? You see how I ain't on nobody's side. I'm just going with the facts, whichever way they lead. I'm saying President Trump ain't on home turf with Gavin Newsom suing him over He, Governor Newsom, you need to amend your complaint or petition, whatever y'all call it in California, and you got to sue them over them federal troops. Them National Guard troops, I don't think you're going to win that one. Because the governor said they defaced federal property with graffiti. They give President Trump all the reason to protect them federal facilities legally. He can do that. That's what the law says he can do. So I don't know about that one. I think President Trump right for that one. Don't mess with the federal property. That's crazy. You was good to that. Now, if the National Guard troops are going there, listen, Governor Newsom probably suing them to get a time limit, because he could get the judge to set a time limit the National Guard troops to be there. Not like they occupy his city forever, like a military state, or he could go back and sue him to get him out of there, if it get peaceful. Or he could sue him about the operations, the police operations in the city of Los Angeles or in the state of California by troops, Marines. We talking about these are killers. Shout out to all the military. I'm going to stand up one time for this one. You feel me? I'm going to stand up one time for that one. 92 Golf Day. U.S. Army. I'm a veteran. That's who I ride with. I ride with the military and the legal community. And they ride with me too, boy. You feel me? I got a team behind me. They ain't like me. They don't want to do no podcast. They ain't looking for no applause. You feel me? So all my veterans in here, y'all salute the veterans, thank them and their families for their service. Mayor Bass, I don't know how you saying it's a chaotic escalation. How is it an escalation? They messing with federal property. President Trump has the right to protect federal property. That's law. Y'all know that? Now, if you saying what they hit the city to do, now if they in the city to police, they don't have the right to police the U.S. No, that's not law. But if you defacing federal property, he could stain them National Guard troops. Everything federal in Los Angeles, he could protect it. Them courthouses, he protect his courthouses. That's his stuff. That's the United States stuff. California or not. I know that we in California, but this is U.S. property. You can't mess with my property. I'm the president. It's my job. Don't mess with mine. That's business as usual. For a Republican, a strong-willed Republican, probably any Republican would do that. In California especially. Don't mess with the federal property, man. Come on. Y'all could have got him because he was looking to send the troops. That's the play anyway. That's why Governor Newsom trying to get you to arrest him. He trying to, President Trump, because he know you will overstep your authority. So they bait you. For clout. President Trump, it works sometimes. You rolling the dice. I'm talking about you going to Boston, you going to lose that in Boston. That's like Garcia sitting back in America against Harvard Law. You can't tell them what to teach in their class at their school. And that's what Governor Newsom doing to you, President Trump. He baiting you because he know you will overstep your authority because you don't like them. And they really mad at you. They upset with you. I promise you. He really mad with you. They might be doing some theater for TV, but they really mad with you messing with their money. You talking about withholding billions of dollars from them? Oh yeah, they hot with you. They 38 with you. But I don't know. I think he's gonna win this with court. The Immigration and Custom Enforcement operation in Los Angeles over the past week has resulted in the arrest of 118 people, including some who have been convicted of drug trafficking, assault, child cruelty, domestic violence, and robbery, according to the agency. This is the LA Times. Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs, Tricia McLaurin, I already know who she worked for, and Republican posters who support Trump's immigration actions have criticized the protests as riots intended to keep rapists, murderers, and other violent criminals loose on the Los Angeles street. Now, listen, guys, I don't know if that's the reason why they're opposing that. What y'all think? I can't see Governor Newsom wanting to keep criminals on the LA streets. What does he gain from that? What does Mayor Bass gain from wanting to keep criminals on the LA streets? I think she's just saying that as an overstatement, kind of. On Sunday morning, Representative Maxine Waters, a Democrat from Los Angeles, addressed roughly 24 National Guard soldiers posted outside the Metropolitan Detention Center on Alameda Street. She had arrived at the center to inquire about Service Employees International Union California President David Herrera, who was injured and detained while documenting an immigration enforcement raid in downtown Los Angeles on Friday. The Service Employees Union International Union California president, whoever was injured. Now, detained is a different reason, because ICE gonna have their reason why they detained him, and all I'm saying is this, President Trump, like, you just doing, how I see it, he kind of just doing a regular president job. He's doing what he ran on that he's going to do. He's doing what President Obama did. Go Google how many President Biden deported, and you're going to think it's lying. Millions. President Biden deported millions. President Trump, this is what I'm saying. The rhetoric, President Trump, it's the rhetoric. It's withholding their money. It's the political fight. These people they're kamikaze. Because this David Herrera, that's going to cost you maybe millions if he was injured. I don't care what you say, President Trump, if ICE arrests him and he's injured, that's money. You know you're getting sued. Them little lawsuits like that, while you out there with them National Guard, they keep poking you. And they keep poking you. And you got to fight 1,000,000 battles, 1,000,000 court cases. They suing you 1,000,000,000 times. You can't even keep up with all the cases. Omar, Golden Age. Raiden, Golden Age. Dale, Golden Age. Where's that? Angelo, where's the Golden Age at? Golden Age. Who are we supposed to shoot? This is a U.S. representative in Los Angeles. Golden Age. If you're going to shoot me, you better shoot straight. This is a representative talking to California National Guard troops. Golden Age. In Los Angeles. Who cool with the chaos? You got to rock with me right now. This is what I'm saying. President Trump, I love you. Okay? But the reason why I would want to step back from the Golden Age talk is because you are fighting an ideological, I'm pronouncing it wrong, but you know what I'm saying, battle with Democrats and liberals. Maybe they've done something to you before that's legitimate that hadn't been said in public, But I'm saying, President Trump, you are fighting a battle with them. Like you are telling Harvard you cannot teach stuff at your university. You are saying this dude is getting deported without due process, Garcia. Then when the court bring them back, you mad at the court. You pick your fight with the courts. Then you telling California they ain't getting their money. You done cut USAID off. I'm saying you are fighting a political battle. President Trump, if you in your business and you got all this chaos in your business, you know you finna fire all them people because you can't make no money with chaos. I'm not having that. Understand that. I'm a litigator. I believe in chaos. look, the other lawyers, bro, they be trying to be all pretty. They like snakes in the grass. Behind your back, though, they smoke-filled rooms, cheating, corrupt, and everything. But then whenever you get in the courtroom, you know, everybody put on suit and ties. They ain't got no hat. You know, they look all pretty. You know, like they beautiful sepulchres on the outside. They got on suit and ties and looking pretty and saying everything and they not cussing. But on the inside, they full of dead man's bones. You feel me? But I don't do all that faking stuff. I just put on this shirt and this and these old jeans that I probably slept in. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to speak the truth. And all that nonsense you got going on, I'm going to expose you with the truth, the unadulterated truth that you can't deal with. You feel that? And that's all I'm trying to get right now. I'm saying, look, I fight cutthroat battles, legal battles, stand on the law. So if President Trump feels like they tried to hurt me, Ghost, they tried to kill me. They tried to steal an election from me. They tried to do all kind of evil to me, Ghost. I'm just trying to straighten it out. That's cool, President Trump. Fight your fight. But I can't depend on the golden age with that fight. That fight that you fighting President Trump against liberals and Democrats, that's cool. Fight your fight. But you can't do trillions in investments and money and a fight. You can't do both of them. It's going to collapse. I'm trying to tell you. Just like I told you with Garcia, just like I'm telling you with Harvard Law, you probably going to beat them on them troops thing. Them to protect the federal facilities. But what I'm saying, President Trump, you can't do the golden age and your political fights. Because you got a fight going on both sides of the coast, on the whole all of America. He in Boston against Harvard. He got all of Massachusetts hating him right now. Because Harvard, their influence is that strong. You talking about, you know what I'm saying? Freemasonry. You feel me? The capital of it. Well, I ain't even finna speak on all that. You going against Harvard Law. Y'all think about it for a second, what I'm saying. You talking about generations and decades. And then you in Los Angeles and you fighting this for, I'm saying that's cool if you want to fight. Guys, we just did a stream about you talking about in America, he got fighting these fights. And at the same time, you got Israel and Gaza against the Palestinians. You got the Houthis in Yemen. He pretty much stumped that out. You had Pakistan and India finna get at it. You got him talking about bombing Iran. And you got Russia and Ukraine and Russia flicking their nose at him. So I'm saying with all this stuff going on, I'm saying President Trump, I'm saying golden age, we ain't heard. When the last time we heard something about an investment in America? All the deals that was supposed to be done. We don't even talk about that no more. I ain't even seen Scott B on no TV stations. Is he still negotiate countries with the investments? The 75 countries that call? The only investments I've seen is England and China. You dropped the tariffs. And the 2 times you did that, y'all seen the stock market. That's why I said golden age. That stock market rebounded all the way back to where it was when he first took office. And it was down a lot. I'm talking about trillions. And within them 3 weeks, where all we talk about is economic prosperity, within them 3 weeks, stock market rebounded strong. It rebounded strong enough to where it's not even dropping that bad when we doing this, because this is just the little stuff. You talking about bombing Iran, it's gonna hit the ground. That's not funny though. That's what I'm saying. And you got a representative talking to the National Guard in her city saying who they're gonna shoot. President Trump said he wanted to get rid of sanctuary cities. How many of us heard him say that before he ran? I'm not hating on him for that. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm saying you can't do that and have a golden age. That's all I'm saying. Leonard Tustad, a 69-year-old Los Angeles resident, rode his bike up to the edge of the loading dock where troops were stationed and asked them if they really wanted to be loyal to a president that had 34 felony convictions. He said he felt compelled to shout facts about Trump at the Guardsmen because he feared the young men have been indoctrinated against their own citizens. You see how left these people are? He said he believed the deployment was a gross overreaction by the Trump administration, noting the city has been home to far more protests that have been handled by local police. This is just a show. It's just a spectacle. He said, a Department of Homeland Security officer approached me, one of the louder demonstrators, saying that he didn't want to repeat of last night and didn't want to get political. He told protesters, as long as they stick to the sidewalk and don't block vehicle access to the loading dock, there will not be any problems. Y'all, I really don't see nothing wrong with what President Trump's sending the National Guard. I don't know about Marines, but I hadn't researched what's going on the ground right now. I'm sure y'all putting it down in the chat, and I'm going to get there in a little bit at the end. We've been about an hour, guys. I don't like doing more than an hour and a half, and I still got some content to go, so I'm trying to power through. Later, DHS and California National Guard troops shoved dozens of protesters into Alameda Street, hitting people with riot shields, firing pellets into the ground, and deploying tear gas to clear a path for a caravan of DHS, Border Patrol, and military vehicles to enter the detention center. Jose Longoria struggled to breathe as clouds of tear gas filled Alameda Street. He pointed to a white scuff mark on his shoe, saying that a tear gas canister had hit him on the foot, causing him to limp slightly. Oh my goodness. You probably ain't gonna get no money for that. You ain't going to. We're not armed. We're just protesting peacefully. Look, man, he said they gotta move y'all out the way because they need to get their vehicles in here. So if you protesting peacefully, when he tell you to move so they could get their vehicles out here, even though you mad at these people, you got to realize that this DHS dude is the law. This is the walking law. He might be saying something wrong. You might be wrong, but he is a federal law enforcement official. If he tell you to get out the way, because they got to get these vehicles in here, you might be all the way turned up. But you know what y'all need to do? Guys, here's my analysis. Listen to the chaos. Garcia. We talked about Garcia. We talked about Harvard. We talking about LA. And then it's going to be some other liberal sanctuary city he going to go after. He probably started in New York and he made it in New York. He going to go to Chicago next, and it's going to be World War 79. Golden Age. India investment. Scott B was working on a $1.5 trillion investment for India that would have helped businesses and raised the stock market. Americans would have made millions. Overall, billions. Their retirement made tens of thousands. When you step out there like that and you make a mistake, they admitted it was a mistake with Garcia, then start taunting the judge, bringing the Venezuelan president. And then, I mean, what that does is that the people in California, they sitting back, they watching this. Oh, he said Garcia ain't never coming back. Oh, there go Garcia right there. Oh. Why won't I try him then? We're going to try him too in Los Angeles. He come to Chicago, we preparing for you right now to come to Chicago with that. We're going to try you too in Chicago. Don't come to Chicago till you get Los Angeles finished. Because, see, we got a trick for you. We're going to wait till you get through all the cities, and we're going to light them all on fire at the same time. I said this in one of my videos. The political class was waiting to wage war on President Trump. They think I'm crazy. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. They still mad at you for all them firings in the government. They mad at you for USAID. Guys, will y'all please like the video? If y'all have not, subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. Guys, super chat, super stickers, super thanks. They start at 99 cents, guys. Any kind of donation you give to your boy, your donations are much appreciated. That's how we keep the channel moving, man, with the donations. You know what I'm saying? I invested so much money in this podcast this year. Be truthful with you. I'm talking about if you go through the content, bro, all that content was not in one place. It has not been in one place the whole year. And all that stuff costs tens of thousands. Or at least 10,000. Not tens of thousands, but 10, you feel me? But it's cool though. I do taxes. I do taxes. That's a good write-off. Because I know you too, if I spend all the total investment, promotion, and everything, I know with the hotel stays, y'all see them sets on the hotel? And I got lawsuits too, so I write it off. You know, Legal Wars podcast is not a business. Legal Wars Live is not a business. A Miller Ray Legal LLC is the business. So what's made with me doing this, all these write-offs, I'm going on the vacation, and that's getting wrote off with a Miller Ray Legal LLC. I teach y'all how to do it one day. Hey, look, I tell the government I'll put my stuff on. Because you know me, bro. If you want that action, I'm going to get famous off you, bro. I did our test. You feel me? I'm going to get famous off you. Them big names. I got a lawsuit right now. I'm suing a little hotel. Ain't nobody care about that hotel. I don't even promote it, cause ain't nobody care. Oh, y'all, I'm working again. I'm doing a lawsuit. Ain't nobody. Who you suing? When you say their name, people gonna look at you like you a roach. You know how you look at a roach. Now, what's that big people name that you say I can't beat? Let me say I'm suing them. Abby Phillips, she gonna be watching them stories on Instagram. I think I'm playing. Them people, they gonna tune in. They gonna want to see it. And the way I'm gonna promote it like a battle royale. like a Super Bowl, and I'm gonna be talking my I'm gonna come up off of it. I'm trying to tell you, I don't care how powerful whatever you got going on. It's just like Garcia. You said he not coming back, and he's sitting right back over there. What's the record in court? Be real. What's your win losses? Because I'm not gonna jump out there and do something I ain't. Because I don't want to lose. You feel me? There's times when I face situations where I could win that I can't sue because I know I don't have what I need to win. So I'm not gonna just file no lawsuit if I can't win. If I sue you, you toast. Look at the record. And we talking about 3 years, like somebody said, them people, my military brothers behind me, you feel me? This just warm up. Whoever want it, come get it. I got God with me. You talking about in the court? You ain't got a lawyer in America gonna out-argue me, boy. That's big facts. Real talk. Let's get back to the news though, y'all. This my analysis anyway. National Guard troops. This the last session. Long story, man. LA Times had a lot of information. Were last summoned to Los Angeles and other border cities in 2020 during the George Floyd protests. So this ain't the first time President Trump called them. Those deployments were authorized by Newsom. He mad, boy. President Trump, they hot at you. You talking about taking the man money. Now you putting troops in their state with city without him asking. Oh, they 38 at you. Don't go to California, please. However, the last time the National Guard was called on by a president without request, they said that already 60 years ago, Lyndon B. Johnson, Alabama. So Antonio Villaraigoso, former Speaker of the California Assembly and former LA Mayor, said President Trump's move was meant to incite more fear and chaos in their community. Okay, we heard all of that, y'all. I'm gonna get to this. This is an hour and 12 minutes. Man, I don't agree with that at all. I agree with President Trump sending those National Guard troops in that situation. If I was arguing for him under the law, I would win that easily. Because Governor Newsom, I will point to past situations that I had as President Trump with controlling situations of violence in America. Look at January the 6th. That's his whole argument. Whether you like President Trump or not, if you're capable of hearing truth, look at January the 6th. That is President Trump's whole argument. Him and Representative Pelosi were arguing about controlling the situation. And he was accused of not controlling the situation. So if I'm in President Trump's shoes, I'm going to get ahead of this. I'm not playing this game with you. Get the National Guard out there. Simple. I'm not going to play this game with you. We know the protests coming this summer. We know y'all out to get me. Get the National Guard out there. Simple. They defacing federal property. That's law. He got the right to protect federal property. 2,000 National Guard troops. Governor Newsom, I would amend that complaint and I would sue him over the Marine troops. I hadn't fact-checked that Fox story. I don't know if he sent 700 Marines, but I don't see no need for the Marines. I'm not there, though. Maybe President Trump right about that, too. I don't know. Fair and balanced. I'm going to just tell y'all the truth, how I see it. Fair and balanced. President Trump added 140,000 jobs to the U.S. economy in May. Fair and balanced. Right? Am I wrong? Fair and balanced. The unemployment rate is 4.2%, nearly 7 months, 6 months after he's been president. I'm talking about, and it's going to keep, them jobs keep coming. So just like the last time, he started off with his economy looking, and he hadn't even had the time to finish building. He talking about the big beautiful bill. President Trump said that's part of the golden age, Ghost. He gonna get that passed, whether we oppose it or not. I think he gonna get it passed. I'm not for it. No cuts to no health care ever, none, zero. If you spending $1 trillion on your military budget on a conventional weapon, President Trump, that y'all over there, I'm gonna do a stream about this soon. Y'all watching 2 drones that cost $500 destroy a $35 million plane, and you're gonna spend $1 trillion on the budget? Like, I mean, do we have enough ammunition to fight China? I mean, bro, there's so much stuff that we could be talking about, that we could be doing, and that we could be fixing. But I'm not for no cuts for no Medicaid at all. And, we need to spend a lot of money on defense because the world is kind of chaotic right now. But what I'm saying is Angelo and y'all was saying President Trump, the peace president. I was trying to explain to you that that's not the case. I don't know if we need chaos in this situation. How many people heard me say that? We passed that point. President Trump come back and he wants to, make a conservative statement against Harvard liberalism, which he might feel like is some of the reason, some of the reason why he was attacked. He feel like all liberals are his enemies while he's been attacked. He feel like he a political prisoner and they try to kill him. So he feel like he justified for going after him. That's his fight. It's not mine though. That's not my fight. So I'm saying trade deal with India, trade deal with Japan, trade deal with South Korea, trade deal with China, or no ands, or no ands, or bomb Iran, go to war with California, go to war with Illinois next, go to war with Harvard. It's an or. It's not an and. See, right now, we think it's an and. We think we can have a golden age and Los Angeles looking like that. It'll work right now. Stock market, it ain't gonna drop to the floor, I don't think, unless we get more chaotic. We want to be chaotic. So unless we get more chaotic, the stock market probably ain't gonna drop to the floor, talking about that golden age that we were promised, that we've been promising everybody, right? Let's talk about that golden age we've been promising everybody, right? So for a little bit, you could do both. But I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. All that chaos going to get too heavy. And that golden age going to do just what it did in 2020. And we're going to end with chaos. And that's going to be your legacy when you were this close to being great. That close. To being loved like you want to be loved. You want to be loved like President Obama is loved. And President Obama is loved by more than just Democrats and liberals, is what I'm saying. The country overall, look at the approval rating. The country overall, the military overall. The veterans overall. The legal community definitely overall. That's my people's. He's loved. President Trump, you can be too. Maybe President Trump, if you want to fight these battles, you just don't be as loud about them. Because I can't see how he wrong about the troops. I can't see how he wrong for deporting people in Los Angeles. Now, withholding their money as a tactic, that's why you got the protests. Too far, too much, too chaotic. You got them people mad at you. They mad. They mad at the federal government. He don't care. That's what he want. But you can't have a golden age doing that. President Trump, you gotta fight downstairs in Trump Tower between Steve Bannon and the liberals. And they fighting in Trump Towers. And they bring them up to you. What you gonna do? You gonna fire. You gonna get rid of that chaos. Why do businesses get rid of chaos? You cannot have chaos and money at the same time. That chaos is going to destroy that stock market. It's easy mathematics. Over a period of time, stay with the chaos. And he got troops and he putting out this fire. He ready for it. You got troops and then something gonna happen. You don't know how them criminals are. They're gonna spend something on you, President Trump, that you ain't gonna be able to grab. And by the time you grab it, like COVID-19, you gonna be gone, and any Republican coming after you ain't gonna have a chance at a president. And we finna get another Democrat, and it might be like that again for 20 years. And we was this close to greatness. Mar-a-Lago was this close to greatness. Don't mess it up, President T. Y'all, that's my time, man. You feel what I'm saying? I just speak the facts. I rock with President T. Y'all seen how I did it? You know what I'm saying? I give credence to the local community, their leaders, the people on the ground, Mayor Bass, Governor Newsom, that's their community. We went through the facts. We heard the mayor say they defaced federal property. So President Trump, when he heard that, like I told you, Tom Homan is a lawman, long history. He knows how, so Governor Newsom sued him over that, saying he overran his authority. Mayor Bass said he escalating the situation. So here's your choice. Because I'm saying if they defacing public property, he can call them out there now. And he got a reason he going over your head and he not depending on you. He going to argue that in court. You know what that is. That's going to be up to the judge. It's a pretty good argument. He probably win that in the appeals court. Pretty sure. So my question is the only thing you could sue him over is if the National Guard is doing police operations, or you could sue him over the Marines. But them 2,000 National Guards just protecting federal buildings while Representative Waters, that's what the story said, they were protecting the building when she approached them, talking about shooter. And while they're there anyway, is because we know LA is a sanctuary city, and the state and local officials are not helping ICE, but ICE is still going after these criminals. Chaos. It's coming to a community near you soon. And when it's all said and done, he gonna deport the same amount of people as Joe Biden when it's all said and done. It's almost like it's just theater. It's the gift and the curse. That stops the golden age though, eventually. That chaos, eventually, that stock market is not gonna do what it needs to do, President Trump, to have a golden age while you fighting a vengeful battle that you want to wage on I don't have a problem. I'll fight those battles too, but the stock market isn't dependent on me. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference. Guys, that's my time, man. Like, like I said, in my lifetime, I've dealt with depression, anxiety, you know what I'm saying, panic disorders. Whenever I get in a situation, man, I always look to heaven, man. You know what I'm saying? I look to God. I'm a Christian, man. I believe in the blood of Jesus Christ. I believe Jesus suffered, bled, and died on the cross to save me from my sins. You know what I'm saying? You can look at me however you want to. You ain't got no heaven or no hell that I could go to. And we all have our sins. We just sin differently. Some of us like to think somebody else's sin is worse than our sin. But we all got our sins. Believe that. You know what I'm saying? Whenever I have my problems, I just look to heaven. You know what I'm saying? And I quote one of my favorite scriptures ever wrote. This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Hour and 25 minutes, as promised, on time, came and delivered, y'all. Y'all let me know if y'all like the content, man. We didn't get no super chats. You know what I'm saying? I need to stop posting money on YouTube. These people think I'm rich. And I am far from rich, bro. I'm trying to get this bread, y'all. That's my time, though, man. It ain't about the money. It's about the truth and the facts. I love every last one of y'all. Peace and love, y'all. Legal Wars Live, man. News Hour with Ghostwriter is back every Tuesday, 6:45 a.m. to right now. Look, my boy MFK, he come in and dropped $2 on me. I appreciate that super chat, MFK. Hadn't seen you in a minute. How you doing, my brother? I'm going to take a second with MFK, and I'm going to see if he want to discuss something, man. You know what I'm saying? Omar is saying, in my blood, you're a cult dude. Look up cults. Omar, what are we talking about cults? What you want to talk about cults? What about cults? Oh, you saying I'm in a cult? Oh, no, definitely not. Would you call the U.S. military a cult? What if there was an organization of veterans? Would you call them a cult? You know what I'm saying? Would you call a legal community a cult? Any organization of people like that, you could call a cult then. So no. I would say if you're talking about a cult, if that's related to religion, no, definitely far. I'm not even in the church organization. If you're talking about an occult as relating to something satanic or something, like I'm trying to see what because if you're just saying somebody they're in the Boy Scouts, is that a cult? Oh, they're a Freemason. Is Freemason a cult? Oh, they're a Firefighters Association. Is that a cult? That's what I'm saying. He said MAGA is a cult. I don't think MAGA is a cult. MAGA is a movement. It's a political movement. Come on, Omar. It's like the Tea Party. The Democrats need one. It's like the Me Too movement. If you ask a conservative or a Republican, they would say the Me Too movement was a cult. I don't think MAGA necessarily is a cult. I think there's a bunch of different people in MAGA. I know a lot of Black people who are MAGA. That's not what you would probably see normally in the city, but if you go to a small town in the countries, yes, you see that a lot. America's a big country, 340 million people. You know what I'm saying? That's why I try to tell President Trump, you got to represent all of America. You can't just represent MAGA, President Trump. You can't just represent Republicans or conservatives. You got libertarians that are with you now, President Trump. That's why you bump heads with Elon. And that's why you bump heads with Rand Paul. And you know how Rand Paul feel. Rand Paul been saying the same. Y'all, how old are we? I'm 45. Man, I remember when Bill Clinton was president, I believe, or President Bush, one of them. Definitely the second President Bush, I heard of Rand Paul. And he been saying the same thing through all the Obama years, through the first Trump. So it's like, if I hear him, come on, man, I know this dude, I ain't even going to respond to that. Why am I respond to that? I'm saying as a president. as ghostwriter on the streets of some small town, that's irrelevant. I'm talking about as the president of the United States, you got to understand the weight of that position or that office. He should know. He had 4 years in between serving, so he served before. He know the weight of that office and the weight of them words. I wouldn't even address Rand Paul. When Elon said it, I wouldn't even address what relevance would it make? You know you're gonna get that bill passed. So why am I talking like if I care about what Elon said about that bill to make me address him when I know this dude can hit me at my knees really if I wanted to, if he wanted to, he that rich. Like if I wanted to address, I'm saying like MFK, I wouldn't have did it like that. That's not how I would have did it. I would have called him. Like you called Jeff Bezos and Walmart. I wouldn't have got on Twitter with Elon because he disagreed with a bill. I'm just saying, bro, like I ain't hating on it because I'm like that too. That's my style, even though I'm not president. I'm a litigation attorney. I'm a fighter, an arguer. But what I'm saying is I can't see no golden age with that. Because the stock market and Main Street, and if the jobs dry up or if AI kick off and they start drawing up the jobs, I mean, we don't know. We on the brink of a revolution and we ain't even realizing it. AI is going to change this whole world. Unemployment rate it probably ain't going to be in President Trump's administration, but the unemployment rate once they get them robots kicking, it's going to go through the roof. They're going to have to give a stipend to people. This world going to change. Some of us look past tomorrow or today or right now. Some of us looking 10 years down the road and they could see things that other people ain't never even thought about. That's my time, y'all. I appreciate that donation, though, my brother MFK. Hadn't seen him in here in a while. Omar, y'all. Man, if y'all want to go live, man, we could go live on Thursday, man. You know what I'm saying? And if not, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all see me on Tuesday, 7 a.m. Central, y'all. Right here, same time, same place. Y'all, I'm out, man. Peace and love.